James, thanks for taking a bit of time
No
to
worries.
have a little fireside chat, as it were, with me
Yeah.
about your business. So, tell us a bit about yourself and a bit about the company.
Yeah, for sure. So, my name's James Rowell. I'm the founder and CEO of JR Creative Group. We're a collective of creative studios, and we design and deliver entertainment experiences on land and at sea as well. So, we'll do everything from large-scale, high-profile events, production shows on cruises and resorts abroad, brand activations and experiences. So, basically, in essence, we bring ideas to life for brands, audiences, and clients that want to make people like feel things and make memories and things like that. But the heart of it all is creativity.
And how did you get into this?
How did I get into it? Well, I'm actually, so my background is that I'm from a circus family. So my dad actually started a circus when I was very, very young, bought a big top and went on the road. So the performance and the creativity has always been in my blood for sure. And then I went away to work on cruise ships after I'd finished college and things like that, as well as a performer. And then I was a cruise director on board managing all the entertainment. So it's kind of been in my blood. I've always been a performer. I've always enjoyed creativity. And I was in shows and I was like, not in a big heady way, but I was like, I want to create these shows. I could do a better job at creating these shows and making amazing costumes and scenic and music and production and things. So I just kind of followed that dream really. And it happened quite organically that I worked at sea, then managed all the creative on board and things like that as well. Then went on to create shows for cruise ships. And now I've started my own business. So that is what we do. But I do it myself now rather than being in the shows. I'm working behind the scenes and creating the shows and the immersive experiences and things. So yeah, it's been quite a journey, but one that I've really enjoyed with lots of learnings along the way.
Yeah, it sounds fascinating. So, would you describe yourselves as travelers, or you just got into the circus?
No, so we just got into the circus really. So my dad isn't from that background at all. He just had this fascination of circus growing up and had like the circus toys that he used to play with. And he was a very successful marketing manager for theatres. He worked at the Royal Shakespeare Company, he worked at Birmingham Hippodrome, and he just got to a point where just before I was born, he was like, I don't want to work for like a big boss anymore in a big corporate company. I just want to follow my dream and my passion. So it took a massive risk because I was literally just about to be born, found a big top, bought the big top. And it was very much it still is a very much event-based circus. So rather than go on the road with caravans and things like that as well, he goes in the morning, pops at the big top, does three shows, pops it down, and then goes back home again. So he found this niche of like this one day pop-up circus almost, and it's been really successful. He works a lot for like PTA school associations. He's done celebrity parties, race courses, live events, things like that as well. So he found a real gap in the market. So he was very much a businessman that I grew up around as well. So I think I've got that instilled in me, not just the creative side, but also the business side of things as well, and the hustle from my
Mm, I love that. It's fantastic. So, what would be a typical customer of yours?
typical customer of ours. Well, there's we're made up of three studios. So we've got Lemon Jelly Creative, and that's very like family first entertainment. So in that we work with, again, as I said, cruise ships, resorts abroad, holiday parks in the UK, shopping centres, especially a lot of Christmas. So we do a lot of immersive Christmas experiences, roaming entertainment, things like that. Wonderosity is our luxury events and experiential activation section. So with that, we're talking to kind of big brands, luxury events. We've got a lot of VIP and private clients, celebrity parties, dinners, things like that as well. And then JR Creative is like our creative consultancy and large scale production shows. So again, we work a lot for cruise ships, parks, things like that. And we create like big spectaculars for like live sporting events and things like that as well. So there's three kind of different, very different strands of the business that all kind of have creativity at the heart, but are very much marketed at different clientele. So they're our main kind of customer bases, like cruise lines, global brands, theme parks, shopping centres, and agencies in London as well. So it's really anyone that's looking to stand out with like fresh, bold ideas and creativity.
Brilliant. So I thought you said lemon jelly earlier, and I was thinking, did he
Yeah.
say lemon jelly?
Yeah, that's
Le-
one of the strands.
that's a cool name. It's a bit like purple cow, isn't it?
It is, isn't
People
it? You just
remember
pick a
it.
color and an object and put it together. Well, the actual reason for lemon jelly was it's a little bit cheesy, but when I was starting the business, I wanted to make people feel, when you're little and you're a kid and you get like a Christmas present and you open it and you get that like shudder of excitement. That is lemon jelly. That we personified it, and we want to
Oh, I
make kids
see.
and families feel that feeling. So that is the lemon jelly feeling almost. So our tagline is get that lemon jelly feeling, and that's what we aim to do. Spread that excitement and joy around the world globally to families and children.
So these three arms are all part of your company still. They're still.
They are, yeah, yeah. So we're JR Creative
Oh.
Group. That's like the umbrella company, and then within that, we've got these three different arms of the business. So it's only recently that I actually took a step back and figured out the strategy of it all and how all three strands kind of helped each other and worked together as JR Creative Group. And whether do I merge it all together as one company or how do I do it? I think there's always that struggle of things happening organically and just popping up and happening, and then it takes a minute for you to realize like how they all work and operate individually. But we've kept everything separate because we think that as I said previously, there's so different clientele for each of the strands that they really work individually, but they also help and support each other as one big umbrella company as well. So sometimes, say for example, we'll have like a high profile client come to us and want like a big luxury party, but then later down the line they may also want like a party for their child, or shopping centers might want immersive entertainment for adults for like a big activation, but then they also
Mm.
at Christmas want something for children and families. So we find that although the three strands operate separately, they really work well together as well and often kind of cross over and lean on each other a little bit.
And how are you finding the transition to be a CEO? Is that a funny role for you now, or how are you managing with it?
It is. I'm really enjoying it. So I think the heart of everything I do is creative. Like I was a performer. I've gone on to be like a creative director. So I've recently taken on a full-time creative director who's fantastic, and I've kind of stepped up to the role of CEO and founder. And I've loved it. I've definitely come away from the creativity a little bit, and now I'm kind of like boss in charge, overseeing everything. Which again, it's all a learning curve. I think you're constantly learning, aren't you? But I think if you're happy to keep learning and push yourself out of your comfort zone, it's a really exciting place to be. But I'm absolutely loving it. I can't give up the creativity totally. Like when a brief comes in, myself and my creative director will sit down and I'll have quite a big input into the creative. But I was getting to the fact that I was kind of index a lot. I was kind of like doing a lot of like the internal work, and I was like, if I'm going to grow this company and build this company, I need to kind of be sat across everything and above that. So
Yeah.
my creative director, she's fantastic and can run with. We'll both have a brainstorm of creative ideas, and then she'll run with it and create the decks and expand the creative concept and things. Whereas I can kind of dip in, give my ideas and creativity, and then kind of take a step back from it and watch it build and grow and trust her with it. So yeah, it's been. As I said, it's been a learning curve. It's been not necessarily somewhere I thought I would go and be. It's just happened quite naturally. But I'm really enjoying it and really embracing it and excited for what's to come for sure.
Great stuff. Yeah. How do you compare to competitors? Do you see yourself as unique, or how do you see yourself in
Yeah,
the market?
yeah, I'd say so. So there's a lot of we have got quite a few competitors out there. A lot of the competitors are on a much bigger scale, and it's kind of little bit of a factory, like kind of churning out shows and costumes and things like that. And you see the same thing being quite repetitive. We say that it can be a bit kind of oversaturated the industry of samey kind of events and experiences and things like that as well. And at the moment, everybody's putting this stamp of immersive. They're using the word immersive for everything they do. I went to an immersive experience recently at a bar, and they just handed me a drink over the bar and was like, "That's the immersive experience." And I was like, "No, you're just a bar. That is what you do. It's not immersive." So what we pride ourselves on is we're boutique, we're bespoke. We do immersive and we do it very well. We kind of build worlds that people step into. We build characters, we build narratives, we take people on journeys. So if you're an event, we did one recently that was an Alice in Wonderland event, and we had a garden party with the Queen of Hearts tarts, and all the food was themed to the different characters and animals and things. And then we came out with eat me and drink me cocktails, and depending on whether you did an eat me cocktail or a drink me cocktail, sent you down one of two rabbit holes. And we literally had had people crawling down an Eat Me Rabbit Hole or Drink Me Rabbit Hole to the other side of the party, the indoor section. So we had people leave from that event with so many different memories, and everyone had a unique journey and was chatting to each other at the end, saying, "Did you choose the Eat Me or the Drink Me cocktail? Like, what was down your rabbit hole? Like, did you meet the White Rabbit? Did you see Alice?" So we really like to kind of build these worlds that people step into and take immersive to the next level, kind of what it used to be before it became saturated. So I think that's
Mm,
what we pride ourselves on is we do immersive, we do entertainment, but we do it very, very well, very, very high quality. And we deal with clients on like a one-on-one basis. I never want the business to become kind of like hugely, hugely global with hundreds of staff. I want it to keep it small, to keep it mighty, and to keep it just really personable and bespoke so that we're in control of the quality of that and the luxury is really there, the premium quality.
mm. It's interesting. I still remember I got a little confession. I'm remarried now, but when I got married the first time, I went to Disney
Oh
in
yeah, how did you find it?
Florida. In
Yeah,
Florida, I thought it was fantastic.
yeah, yeah.
All the characters that I grew up with that were just walking around and stuff. I was taking
It's
pictures with
amazing.
them like a little kid. I thought it was
Yeah.
absolutely fantastic. So yeah, I can imagine that. It sounds really exciting. I'm going to be looking out for you guys now.
Yeah, 100%. Well, Disney was like, I guess, the original immersive experience. The word immersive
Yeah,
probably wasn't around then, but they've been doing it for years and years, and they've been doing it so well. And it's a real key kind of case study of like, again, building a world that you step into and you leave all your troubles behind. I think, especially with the world as it is now, you want a form of escapism sometimes. You want to switch off the news and go to another place or another world. So yeah, Disney's built those worlds brilliantly. They are like the master of it all. You've got Universal recently
they're
building their own
phenomenal.
studios and things like that. So I think
Yeah.
it's yeah, we're obviously a much smaller entity than that, but it is again the heart of it all is kind of building these worlds and characters and narratives so that you believe in the story and you get immersed in the story and you leave being like, wow, I want to go back there again. That was really cool.
Yeah, yeah. And Disney, I remember we use it as a case study example because they call them all their staff are cast members,
Exactly that.
which
Yeah,
changes the way you
Imagineers.
see it. Because they say
Yeah,
if you got a little boy who's 7 years old, goes to Disney, and that's the day you decide to be the grumpy git that works on a stall and is not very nice to that boy is gonna kill. You've just killed his little world that he's in. So
yeah,
they
kids
say
remember it
everybody's a
for sure.
cast member. You're on stage. So
Yeah.
even if you're cleaning the pathway and a kid comes up to you and says, "Where's the sweet shop or something?" You've got to be smiling and happy and
Yeah, you're
keep
part of
that
the
child
magic.
in its
Yeah.
little bubble. So
100%, you're part of the magic. And we say
I
that with
think it's
all
a
our
great
immersive
concept.
experiences. Yeah, we do a lot of Christmas experiences for families, and we say the same no matter what your role is in that experience, you are part of it and you're part of the world. And everybody in that experience, whether they're taking tickets on the door or whether they're an actor within the experience, everyone's got a name and a character that make them part of that world that the kids really believe in.
Yeah, it's fantastic. So given that you were saying you don't want to get too large, where do you see yourself, say, 5 years time then, or 10 years
I
time,
think,
or whenever?
I mean, I would like to scale, but I want to scale without losing like the soul and the creativity of the business. I think we're kind of building the go-to creative group for like immersive entertainment, but I want us to grow with purpose rather than we go, right, I want to be turning over X amount of £1 million and do this. I want kind of the purpose of it to still be there. I want to create more like original IPs. I want more global clients. I think we are currently global and we're working across the globe, especially on the cruise ships and the resort side of things. But I'd love to grow that side of it a little bit more. And yeah, I think growth for growth's sake is quite damaging. I've seen businesses grow so rapidly, so fast, and again, it becomes this factory. I don't want that at all. I want to make sure that everyone that works with us matters, and I think people are so important to every business as well. I'd be nothing without my team. My team are fantastic. So yeah, I definitely want to scale, but at a steady pace and at a pace that is comfortable and it means that we grow with purpose for sure.
And as the CEO now, do you have something you would describe as a routine, or is every day very different?
I'd say so in my personal life, I really like routine. I'm definitely a creature of habit. I get up every morning at kind of 6:37. I head to the gym because the gym for me, my gym class is kind of like that 45 minutes in that class. It's just mine and I can focus and it really helps my mental health and my clarity as well. I find if
Yeah,
I don't go to the gym in the morning, I'm just a little bit foggy. It's really strange. My productivity is so much higher having been to the gym. So I always make sure I go to the gym pretty much every morning or at least kind of 4 or 5 times a week. But then when I get into work, it's very variable. Like my diary every day is so different. Some are spent kind of like script writing and kind of working with directors and choreographers to creatively direct a piece. Other days I'm on back-to-back calls and my to-do list just sits there, not getting anything done, and I'm just on call after call after call. Some days I'm on site at an event, bringing it to life. Some days my team are on site
Mm.
and I'm back at the office. So yeah, it's nice. I like having the routine in my personal life, but I think the day to day of it in work is very different. So maybe that contrast I quite enjoy knowing that I've got stability in my personal life, but work life is a little bit more sporadic and a little bit crazy.
And so, in terms of like your journey, then, so you got, as you said, a bit of the routine in terms of the gym and that, which is, as you said, is a great way to start and everything. But what have you learned about, what sort of lessons have you learned as a CEO? Have you made, or even as a founder,
Yeah, yeah.
the people say everybody makes mistakes in business. Is there any that you would share that you think you've learned from?
100%. I think what I found, I put a lot of pressure on myself, like back in the day, that like I didn't know what I was doing. I think imposter syndrome is such a massive thing, especially as the founder of your own business for sure. And you see on LinkedIn, you go on LinkedIn, and LinkedIn is such an amazing tool, but you go on and see all your competitors winning massive contracts and doing this and doing that, and you think, why aren't I doing that, or why have I? And you might be, but it's still not good enough for you because you're comparing yourself to other people as well in the industry, and everyone's so different. I think that what I learned as well is everybody's blagging it. Like a lot of people, even in these massive agencies and businesses, like everyone's faking it till they make it. Like no one fully knows what they're doing. So when you realize that, you realize actually I do, and I'm at a point now where I do, again, I don't know everything. I'm always learning, but we work with some really big brands, and I'm like, wow, we really know what we're doing, don't we? We really know what we're doing. Because some people just don't, and that's fine as well. Like we're always learning. It's a constant learning curve. I think that is so important. I think as long as you're open to constantly learning, I feel like the way I've hired my team as well, I don't like being the best person in the room. I've hired a team that are all better than me at something so I can learn from them. So I think that's been super important as well. And I think that the team is everything, as I've said, like I'm nothing without my team, and every member of the team works differently. It's not a cookie cutter thing where it's copy and paste. What works for one person doesn't work for the next in terms of the team that I have, in terms of the companies that we work for and the clients that we have. Like all clients aren't the same. Some clients prefer you to pick up the phone and call them. Some clients are strictly email. Like there's so many different variables in running a business and owning a business that I think it's just all part of the learning curve. And you have to kind of take that on board and realize that it's not a one size fits all approach across the
Mm.
board. And I think if you get that and you understand that, you'll do well regardless because you're prioritizing people, clients, team, things like that.
And also in from learnings, we talked about this earlier, but um, do you listen to podcasts, read books, or where do you get your sort of learnings from?
I think inspiration wise, I'm very because I'm so busy. It's absolutely crazy how busy I am. I've not really got into the podcast thing just yet. I listened to a few here and there. People recommend me, kind of like Diary of a CEO and stuff like that as well. I read a little bit. I've got a book, The Creative Act, A Way of Being by Rick Rubin is what I'm reading at the moment. So I love reading, especially when I manage to get away, have a little break. But again, it's so busy. I often find myself reading more like articles and things like that as well on kind of like Experience UK, like creative articles and things like that as well, Campaign magazine and things. So I kind of read more bite-sized chunks of things. But again, always reading, always learning, always signing up to mailing lists so I get little bite-sized nuggets of information about the industry and what's going on because it's so important. I think being a founder and CEO, knowing competitors, what they're doing, what is happening in the world and things like that as well. So yeah, so a little bit of everything.
And do you have anybody that you admire, a role model, or people that you admire in the business world?
People that I admire. Well, that's really interesting. I'd say there's not really a specific person, but I'd say anybody that kind of builds something from the ground up, I think is absolutely incredible. Like I moved to London about 8 years ago with basically nothing. Like I just came here with a bit of a plan, a little bit of money in my back pocket to get me through kind of like the first couple of months of figuring out what I wanted to do. And I've gone on 8 years later to have three businesses under one umbrella business with an amazing team. We've got offices in King's Cross. It's really incredible. So So I think I admire people that have been on that journey as well, that maybe haven't been handed it on a silver platter, that have worked really, really hard for it and spent like time and energy and really committed and shown resilience across the board. So I love connecting with kind of fellow founders and CEOs and hearing their stories because some of those stories that I've heard are amazing and very, very inspiring. And I also think I'm very much a big fan of chasing happiness rather than the money. I think a lot of people become kind of fascinated with money and we have to hit these targets and these KPIs. And yes, we're running the business. We do obviously have to make money because that's money makes the world go round. But I also think what I'm chasing is my version of success is definitely and kind of admiring somebody is in like being happy and having that purpose in life that you're super happy is really, really important for me.
No, cool, very cool. Yeah. And it's interesting. There's a book called The Happiness People,
Oh,
and it's
I've not read
the
it.
yeah, it's fascinating. I got this book in Vegas, and
Oh,
because Action Coach's headquarters is in Vegas, so
yeah.
I did my training there. Now you can do it in the
Nice.
UK, but I did my training there. And when you go to, we only were let out. We it wasn't as glamorous as it sounds. 10 straight days of training from 6:30 volleyball through to breakfast, and then you're in the training room till 10 at night. So it's
Oh,
like
wow.
serious. We was only let out once. We went on one trip to Zappos and to Bellagio's, the one with the
Oh, the
fountains.
water fountains. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
amazing. Yeah,
So that
yeah.
was that was pretty cool. That's the only
That's
time we was
iconic.
out.
Yeah.
But when we went to Zappos, that's the happiness people. Zappos was founded by I think he was a Chinese American. Sadly
Mhm.
passed away. He's quite young when he passed away. But anyway, he passed away in lockdown, I think. But he founded the company and went from zero to 1 billion in 10 years, selling
Wow.
shoes online.
That is mad.
But they call it the happiness people because he had a phenomenal culture of
Yeah.
having happy staff, happy customers.
That's the thing. Yeah. I think if you treat your staff well and you treat your team well and they're happy, it's got that knock-on effect, hasn't it? Of like your clients will be happy, therefore their people will be happy. So it's definitely got that knock-on effect. I think we've just introduced like a health and well-being scheme called Thrive, where all of our team have access to a gym, to a well-being space. They have access to Headspace, the mindfulness app, and things like that as well. And I think that's so, so important. And it's actually caring and actually actioning it. I think some businesses
Yeah.
say they're going to do it and say they care about people's mental health, but they don't actually put anything in place in order to achieve that. So we've really been working hard to make sure that our wellness offering for our team is there and in place and really, really strong and something that they can rely on and work hard on.
So I was going to ask you about that because one of the biggest challenges, apart from cash, I would say the second biggest challenge that most business owners cause them the most stress, apart from customers sometimes, but forget the customers for a minute, were is staff
Yeah.
and getting the right people. How have you managed to get the right people? Has that been through trial and error? Has it been just you lucky or
I think I've been really lucky. I've been very thorough with our hiring process. I think because when the business is yours and you're the founder, it's like your baby, isn't it? So
yeah,
I think I always felt like no one is ever going to love and be as enthusiastic about this business as I am because I'm the founder. But I found some incredible, incredible people and team members that really do love the business and are here for it and kind of like the biggest ambassador of the business and they absolutely love it, which is amazing. So I've been really, really lucky. We've just recently promoted our creative producer to senior creative producer. We've got an amazing business development manager. We've started like an internship scheme as well. So we had our first intern join us about 3 months ago. So it's really great. It's been a little bit of trial and error, but I've been very lucky in the fact that I think the thorough process of making sure that you kind of interview, you ask people, you kind of get a sense of them, you meet in person. I think Zoom calls and things have been very normalized now, but I think meeting people in person, you get a really good sense of
yeah,
them and what they're like. And I think it's just, yeah, a lot of our team are ex-performers. And I think that really helps as well because we're selling creativity, we're selling shows, we're selling performances and live theatre. So I think when we've been in that position, we can really kind of empathize and understand it a lot more. So I think that really helps as well. So yeah, I've been very, very lucky. I've got a fantastic team. And as I said, I'd be nothing without my team. They're all absolutely amazing.
brilliant. Is AI having an impact on your industry and your what you're doing?
It definitely is. I think we can't escape AI at the moment, can we? It's literally everywhere. It's definitely changing things. I think I think there's been some creatives and some businesses that have gone, oh God, AI is going to take over. This is going to be awful. Like, what are we going to do? It's going to make us all redundant and out of jobs. I think it's a really good tool. We've actually sat down as a team. We had a strategy day a few months ago, and I said to the team, how can we improve? Because I'm always about celebrating our positives, but also seeing what challenges we have and how, as a team, we have an open discussion about that and we make things better. And one of our things was productivity and kind of embracing AI to make everything a lot more efficient and productive within our business and our kind of processes on a day to day. So I think that really helps. We're utilizing the AI a lot for that, kind of like ChatGPT, Midjourney. I think with what we do as well. Some of our clients aren't necessarily creatives, they're more operational, and they're more kind of like top tier decision makers. So what we can do rather than previously when we had a mood board of a costume that'd be like, oh well, it's kind of like this hat and this jacket and these trousers and it's this color with this pattern on it. We can actually type all of that into Midjourney on a prompt and it can create something that we can go, this is what we're creating. Obviously, we don't want to overpromise because sometimes AI can deliver this generate this incredible crazy costume that we'd never be able to create and would not have the budget to do, but it definitely helps us kind of bring something to life so that we can showcase what we might achieve. But I think the heart of what we do as a company is very much human, and that creativity and that human feel will never leave. No matter how advanced AI gets in supporting creativity, it definitely can't replace that kind of spark you get when a group of creatives get together and we get all the minds in the room and we're planning the next kind of show or the next kind of experience or how we can make this really immersive and build these characters in these worlds. It won't replace that, but it can help us and be more efficient for sure.
Do you, because it's really interesting. I was talking to a CEO. I was at Lloyd's actually, Lloyd's of London, the insurance people this morning, one of their programs, and the guest speaker was a CEO talking to this sort of accelerator scheme for thriving, people who want to develop their career. And he'd done a sort of like a pep talk. It's like a role model talk kind of thing. He's in the insurance
Oh,
industry, right? And he was saying that he finds it challenging trying to get people to work in the office.
oh really?
But people are quite people are becoming quite resistant to it. But
Yeah.
he's got his staff are in the office. They're pushing it more and more now, like 4 days a
Yeah,
week and stuff like that. And
yeah, it's interesting.
how do you find that? Because some people say, "Oh no, we can work from home
Yeah,
as
yeah.
creative." Other people say no, but the creative ideas is much more if you're together.
Yeah, I
How
tend
do
to
you find
agree.
that challenge?
I think after COVID, I think one positive of COVID, although it was awful experience, like one positive to come out of it is that there is a lot more flexibility in working. I say to my team, so we've got an amazing office in King's Cross that we just moved into called the Jellicoe, and it's fantastic. Again, there's like indoor gardens and meditative spaces, and there's like a big rooftop where you can go out on the balcony and things. So we've actually got a place that we really love to work in, which is I think a really good starting point. But we're very much based on, I'm very much based everything on productivity. So we're currently in the office Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So we do 3 days in the office, 2 days at home on Wednesday and Friday. And that's working really, really well, to be honest. I think what I've said to the guys is that obviously if we have a big client come in or we've got like a creative meeting, we'll be in the office, we'll hire out a meeting room. But I think that flexible way of working is brilliant. And I also think on a productivity basis, I say to the team, like, if you've got an appointment you need to go to, or you've got this within work hours, go and do it. Like, I'm not going to stop you from doing it. But as long as you meet those deadlines, and as long as if we've said we're going to get this to the client on a Friday or a Monday, that is met, then I don't mind. I think definitely in the creative world, you can't switch creativity on and off. I think it kind of, you just have a creative flurry and you get an idea or something. It might be 10 p.m. at night or it might be 7 in the morning. And if we've said, oh, you're working 9 till 5, that is it, then it's trickier. Whereas if you're not feeling very creative and you're like, right, I've got a creative block, I need to leave the office at 4 p.m., but I'm going to come in tomorrow a bit earlier. Like it's all productivity based and it's all creativity based. I think you can't switch that on and off. So I think, and we've that's been super successful, and I think all the team feel that that flexibility has really helped them, and I think it's really, really important as well. So yeah, that's something we stand by, is we're productivity based rather than 9 till 5 shift based almost.
How do you measure that? Do you have KPIs or some other metrics? How do you
Yeah, we
know
do. We
what
have
your
KPIs, we
productivity
have
is?
targets. We do kind of like a quarterly target setting, like a revenue setting system. So we've got all that locked in. So with each of the three strands as well, because we have got those three very different strands, we set up kind of like tier one, two, and three with each of those strands as to what our main kind of like reach outs are going to be. So maybe for lemon jelly, it's kind of like cruise ships as number one, resorts as number two, and shopping centers as number three. So we've got those very clear kind of target kind of clients that we're reaching out to, that our business development manager will go and kind of target those different sets of people. At the moment, we're getting a lot of people that are coming to us. So they're seeing our work now, they're seeing our work at Meadowhall, and we've got shopping centers knocking on our doors saying, we want this amazing kind of Christmas experience as well. What can you bring to us? And we'll obviously create something different and bespoke for everybody. But they're seeing it more. So yeah, I think in terms of kind of like KPI setting, it's productivity based, it's KPI based, but it's at the end of the day, it's kind of like deadline based. So we know if there's an event and it's going to be held on this day, at the very start of that event sign off, we'll create a critical path and we'll kind of plot the dates that we need to achieve everything in order to achieve the actual end goal of the project. And as long as those dates are met from the client side and from our side, I'm kind of happy, and we can kind of work it around the other projects. At the moment, we've got so many projects that we're juggling. We kind of have our eye on all of those different project timelines to make sure that we're actually delivering all those different elements, because so much goes into an event or an immersive experience that you really have to keep an eye on it. But as long as we're hitting those target dates and the client are happy, I'm happy.
Very cool, very cool. So we're coming to the end now, but I've got a couple of questions. If I gave you £100 million to invest in business, what would you do with it?
Wow, that's a lot of money.
A
I
lot of
think
money.
so. I probably invest in building like a high quality immersive IP that can tour globally. I think the immersive world is, as I said, getting very saturated. I'd want to put some money into creating something really, really incredible that could tour around the world. That is true immersion. It kind of let the likes of kind of like Punch Drunk and Yumi Bum Bum Train really work on that with an amazing team where kind of money is no object and we can just throw everything at it. Because typically immersive isn't always commercially viable. Like it's really, really tricky to make it work, especially when you want more intimate, smaller groups and things like that as well. So having that money would be incredible because money almost wouldn't be an object, as it were. Um, I'd also love to open kind of like a creative hub, like an R&D space, a part studio, part training area where you can kind of like develop the next generation of creative talent, invite them in, do workshops and things like that as well. Because I'm very aware that like I've got my creative ideas, but there's so many young people out there that are kind of coming up through the ranks that will be the future of tomorrow. And they're going to be the next people that kind of create immersive events and live productions and theatre. So we need to be inspiring them. We need to be training them. We need to be kind of utilizing their ideas and involving them in these projects. So yeah, I think that's the two. I take 50 and do an immersive IP and travel it globally, and then I take 50 and develop this sort of amazing R&D hub for creatives and like immersive theatre makers in London.
Brilliant. And then final question really is people listening, a lot of them will be interested in business or they probably have a business. Is there a few tips you would give to say, this is what I've learned about business. If you don't have this in place, then it's a problem. What would your few tips be?
I'd say, again, really, really good question. I'd say start with why. I know a lot of people say it, but like when I recently brought my creative director in, she's always saying like, why are we doing this? What are we doing it for? How are we doing it? Where are we doing it? But we always start with why. And whenever we're pitching something to a client, we'll come up with an incredible creative idea, but we'll always circle back to why. Why are we doing it? Why is it amazing? Why is it creative? What is it going to achieve? So I think that's really important. It keeps you grounded and makes you think about why we're doing it the whole time. Even when you're building a business, like go back to why. Why are we doing this? What's the end goal? What is the reason for this? What is the purpose? Um, Another one, I know we touched on it quite a lot. It's just the team, like your team, people are everything. Like your team is your biggest asset. So build a team of like-minded people that love what you do and believe in you, but also that are better than you at things, as we said. Like, don't be the smartest person in the room. Be the most curious. Be the most intrigued. Be the person that wants to learn from your team. And another thing I'd say is, I'm really bad for this. I'm very like I strive for everything to be perfect and everything to be all brilliant in place. I think because we work in like the luxury kind of market and things like that, and everything we do, even the children and family stuff we do, we see a lot of kids and family stuff out there that hasn't got a lot of budget to it, or is just like a bit rubbish, and the costumes are a bit naff and things like that. I think that quality to me is everything, but also in that journey to the quality, don't wait for it to be perfect. Like do it, learn about it, like just jump on it, do it and make it and polish it as you go, and strive to be the best, but understand that that's not going to happen straight away. You have to kind of grow through the ranks, and it's a journey. It's all a journey. And I think the last thing is just never stop learning. Like never think you've learned everything, because no matter how old you are or how successful you are in business, like there's always things to learn out there, and always like read and learn more and surround yourself with people that inspire you and that you can learn from.
Fantastic. When you mentioned that, there's something came to mind when you talked about costumes and all that stuff. As a little boy, I still remember the Planet of the Apes,
Oh,
and
amazing.
they were at Selfridges. My mom used to take me to Selfridges every year. If you think of immersive, that was
Yeah.
immersive
It
in
was, yeah. Immersive's
its
been around for years and years and years.
yeah.
Haven't
It
coined it
just
as
wasn't
immersive.
using that language. But
Yeah.
every year, my mom would take us to Selfridges, to Santa's Grotto or whatever it was,
Nice.
and it would always have some kind of themed something.
Yeah.
And I have the pic. I don't know where the picture is, but we have it somewhere where my sisters have the picture with the Planet of the Apes characters,
Oh, amazing.
but I'm not in it
Oh, you're not. Oh, you
because I
missed
was
out on
too
the photo
scared.
op.
I was too scared of Urko, because as a little boy, to me,
It's
it was
overwhelming, isn't
Urko.
it?
And I
Yeah.
wouldn't take a picture with him because I was too scared of him, because he was always the wicked one, the one that was,
Mm.
horrible to people. So I was a little boy, I was terrified of him. So I wouldn't take the picture. So I've never got that. I'm not in the picture. And but funny, I still remember it though.
Still remember that moment. Yeah,
I
it is.
still
They're
remember
powerful
it.
moments, aren't they? They're really powerful moments for
I
sure.
was
I think
terrified of
bringing
that.
that to life, I think when kids see stuff on TV and things like that as well, it comes back to IPs. It's like when they see that on TV, but then they see it in real life, it's just amazing. It's the most overwhelming experience because to them it is real. It might be a mascot character or like a costume character, but to them it's real. They've seen it on telly and now it's there in front of them. Like it is, it's
Yeah.
overwhelming, but
And
it's incredible.
I
Like,
wouldn't I am not even a fan of musicals particularly. But again, as a child, my mom took us to the London Palladium and these places, and we
yeah,
watched The King and I, and
yeah,
we
yeah.
watched My Fair Lady, the original versions.
Oh wow, that's amazing.
And to this day, I adore those
Yeah,
films.
yeah, it's
So if The
instilled
King
within
and I
all of me.
comes on over Christmas, I'm absolutely going to watch it.
Yeah, yeah,
And My Fair Lady is one of my favorite all-time films,
it's
and
amazing.
it's because of the experience as a young boy being fascinated by this. I don't know why it made me so fascinated, because you would say, why would a young person particularly like King and I? It's quite an adult theme to it, but
Yeah,
for some reason I just loved it,
yeah,
and I've
yeah.
always loved it, and so I constantly I've watched The King and I don't know how many times I've watched it, but
That's amazing.
I
But
just
it
keep
just shows
watching
you as
it.
well if you get taken to something that is like immersive and that is entertaining and theatrical as a young kid, it really does stay with you. It really, really does, which is
Stays with
what
me forever.
lemon jelly is so important because it's creating that lemon jelly feeling that you'll remember for years and years and years to come, no matter how old you are. We're making those memories and creating those memories for families and children. So
Yeah,
so
I suppose
important.
it's like a kid going to a football match or something. You get so
Yeah, exactly.
excited
Yeah.
that it's
You
like
remember that first experience of
you
it.
remember it forever, and it's
Yeah, you
kind of
do.
like gets the bug.
Yeah.
So, James, I could talk to you forever. I have to say thank you. It's
Thank you.
amazing, the whole the circus and the whole how you got into it. Amazing. So, just so I want to say thank you very much for taking time out to have a little chat with me.
Yeah, no, thank you. And thank you for having me as well. You've been a pleasure to speak to and just glad I got to share my story as well.
Yeah, absolutely fabulous. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Asari.